In the sport of fitness, I'm always looking for an edge up on my competitors, and one of those ways is through proper hydration. It's important to be dialed in every aspect of your training. One of the most important aspects is hydration, and that's why I take engineered nutrition. It's a compound of electrolytes that you lose through sweat, and it replenishes them in the golden ratio exactly how you lose them. Be relentless, engineered nutrition.
Founded in 1946, Hagerstown Community College now plays home to Metcon Rush in 2026. It's the final day of competition here in Hagerstown, Maryland. My name is B.friendly, and we got about 3.5 hours straight of elite action to round out a 3-day competition here. Tim and the crew put on a great show once again, and the elite athletes save their best for last on the final day. We're going to get to the top heats and see a pretty competitive podium race in both the men's and women's division. But starting things out, we have the first heat of the elite women. 4 athletes in this heat. In lane 7, we'll have Charlie Stricker. In lane 6, Natalie Simpson. In lane 5, Francesca Coletto. In lane 4, Emily Kane. Workout this morning, or start this afternoon, is called Full Circle. It's a chipper. 45 reps, toes to bar, power snatches with 55 pounds, box jump overs to 20 inches, 40 calories on the Echo bike for the win, and then they work their way back with 45 more box jump overs, power snatches, and toes to bar. 16 minutes to try to get it done. There will be a reseed prior to the finale, which will happen after the elite men. So still an opportunity for these ladies to try to push into the next heat up. Francesca Coletto in lane 5, wearing the all orange, has the most points amongst this group at 200. Which will need to make up a 22-point deficit to the athlete ahead of her at 222, who we'll see in the next heat. Speaking with a few athletes this morning about just this workout in general and what the strategy is. And as you'd expect with this many reps on the board, it seems to be quite different depending on your skill set. If I was going to say one thing was a general commonality, it's that getting out to the lead can be quite advantageous because you don't have to push the bike as hard. But if we watch the RX divisions, or as we were watching the RX divisions earlier, there were also quite a few athletes who did well all the way until that last set of toes to bar. And then whether it was grip or just overall fatigue, there were some athletes waiting in the wings to pass them by. If you're just tuning in for the first time this weekend, we've been here for a couple days. The elite division started on Friday with 2 workouts, including a snatch ladder. So they had a heavy snatch day 1, and they got lightweight barbell cycling, but also the same movement pattern with the snatch here on the final day. Had a Metcon in the evening on Friday. 2 more of those yesterday. This one will be, like the ones yesterday, a little bit on the longer side, but the finale will be basically a sprint chipper. Essentially 3 or 4 minutes for most of the athletes to get that one done. Emily Kane in the blue and Francesca Coletto in the orange, off the toes to bar and into the snatches first after their first sets of 10 or so. Lane 6, Natalie Simpson, and lane 7, Charlie Stricker joined them. Athletes will work their way down the floor towards those bikes and then work back towards the rig before ultimately running to the finish line, tapping that pylon. In the middle part of the floor where the barbells and the boxes are, athletes will advance every 15 reps. They move the bars towards the boxes towards the bike, and then the opposite way on the way back. Hopefully leaving the equipment right where it needs to be for the next heat. Another thing to be on the lookout throughout this workout is for just efficient movement patterns. 45 reps at any one of the disciplines, maybe not a ton, but you got to do most of them twice, and you end up with over 300 total reps in this workout. And energy conservation in small doses applied to many reps over time can be the difference in races that often come down to a rep, a second, a transition. And as the heats wear on and the margins get smaller, we'll keep an eye on those things. If you're just watching some of these women, a little bit of a nuance you'll see, for example, from Francesca Coletto is that barbell's never contacting her hip on the way up, as it typically would with a heavy snatch. Just kind of muscle snatching it, but also leaving it an inch or so out in front of her body, which that's the kind of small difference that makes a lot of difference over time. Now she's going to move forward to the box jump overs for the first time. Different programmers have different ways of incorporating these and different thoughts about how they should be programmed. Rebounding allowed here, and she did the first several sets rebounding off the ground, or the first several reps rebounding off the ground, but she's switched at the back half of that set of 15 to jump up, step down technique. Which she seems to be using here in the middle section. So Coletto, middle set of 15 on the box jump overs. Kane, second to the box. Simpson coming forward to join them. Stricker finishing up her final snatches. $15 more box jump overs for Coletto before getting to the bike. Last rep here, so 5:33. And Simpson will head to the bike. Kane moves into her final set of 15 on the box jump overs. So a nice lead built for Coletto here, and likely, just looking at the stature and what we've seen from her so far, this is the part of the workout that Coletto's going to enjoy the least. But it's only 40 calories, and you do have a lead against your heat here. So you're trying to get those done without really setting yourself any further in a hole. She looked pretty proficient on the other three movements, so set yourself up well for the back half. If she's able to maintain that split going back down 5.5 minutes or so, that would give her 5 minutes on the bike to get the 40 calories done, which should not be an issue. And she could get underneath that time cap. Emily Kane to the bike. About 1:10 or so after Coletto. Last couple reps for Simpson on her box jump overs. She'll be about 20 seconds behind Kane at the split. Stream is fueled by Engineered Nutrition. If you train hard, you know the feeling. Third round, legs cramping, tanks empty. Most of the time, that's not fitness, that's hydration. Scan the QR code. Use code METCON2026 for the next 2 weeks to save at checkout. Engineered Nutrition. Be relentless. Eight minutes gone, 8 minutes to go for this opening heat of Elite Women. This first of 3 heats, taking on Full Circle, event number 5 of 6 on the weekend for the Elite Divisions. The flow today is going to be elite women, elite men. We'll shut this stream down and start a new one up pretty quickly. Reseed the athletes also quickly before the finale. So more or less be running straight through from now until about 3:30 on the East Coast. Coleto's been on that bike about 3.5 minutes now, so it'll be 10 coming. And there it goes. Last 5 calories for Coleto. It's probably going to be pretty close to a 4-minute split on that bike. 10 calories per hour, probably around the 60-ish RPM range to get that done. Coasting on the last calorie there, 4 minutes and 3 seconds on the bike. For Francesca Coleto, back onto the box. She had about a minute and 15 seconds over Kane getting there. Let's see if Emily Kane in the all blue is able to peel back any of that. A hand's already going up for her. Coleto with a bit of a rest here in that middle set of box jump overs. 10:45 as Kane finishes the bike and makes a quick transition there. So about the same, 4 minutes or so on the bike. Hand up for Natalie Simpson. And it looks like all these women are going to be pretty close to that 4-minute mark for those 40 calories. And now it's just a matter of how good are you feeling coming off of there. With 135 reps remaining. Past the 11-minute mark, so less than 5 minutes to go in this one for the women in Heat 1. Coleto in her last rep, about 30 reps ahead of Emily Kane. She'll head back to the barbell. Pretty good in the transition there. Got it up off the ground relatively quickly. Coleto working on her first 15 snatches. Kane and Simpson chipping away at the box jump over. Simpson just making an advance there, having finished her first set. Stricker with the last rep on the bike at 12:15. She'll head off and join the rest of the heat, working back towards the rig. 45 box jump overs, 45 snatches, and then 45 toes to bar to finish it out. 16 minutes is the time cap. We're just about at the 12.5-minute mark. So likely to be looming for some of these athletes. Coleto's the main one that we're going to see challenge that time cap and hopefully put a time on the board for the next heat. Kane with her last 5 reps on the box jump overs, and she'll make her way to the barbell. 3 minutes to the time cap. Kane with kind of RDLs to muscle snatch. Legs maybe feeling it after the box jump, echo bike box jump combo, so relying on the back and the upper body for these lightweight power snatches. Natalie Simpson finishes up her box jump over. Stricker's on her last set. Coletto moves to the final set of snatches, so she's got less than 15 reps to go there before the 45 toes to bar, but only 2 minutes to get the work done, so she's going to need to push a little bit here. Certainly has slowed relative to the opening pace. Simpson ripping away. Be interesting to see on these back half of lightweight snatches as the heats wear on. You know, the quality of the movement is not what you would write home to here, but best athletes often still use efficient movement patterns with big sets and under fatigue, so we'll see how they adapt to that. Charlie Stricker's made a little bit of a late push. She's closing in on Simpson here. Coletto final snatch, so she'll have basically 1 minute for the toes to bar. Unlikely to get those done. I'll try our best to keep track of what she's able to do. .45 seconds to go. 6 reps in the first set for Coletto. Kane, 15 snatches remaining for her. Coletto's going to jump back up. Another set of 6 as we have about 10 seconds remaining. And a set of 4, so 16 toes to bar for Francesca Coletto will be the score to beat on Full Circle. That was the first heat of Elite Women. Heat 2 coming up. Heat 2 for the elite women on the competition floor here inside the Athletic Center in Hagerstown Community College for Metcon Rush 2026. And they're taking on Full Circle, the second to last workout of their competition. It's a down and back chipper, 45 reps, everywhere other than the bike where they'll have 40 calories. You start with some toes to bar, power snatches at 55 pounds, box jump overs with a 20-inch box, then the bike, and work their way back down the floor. The barbells and box will move every 15 reps to help us keep track of the ordering amongst this full heat of 10 women. Starting in lane number 10, Aninda Manocha. In lane 9, Angela Krovanchik. Lane 8, Cassandra Para. Lane 7, Emily Salome. Lane 6, Haley Perini. Lane 5, Natalie Anderson. Paige Marion's in 4. Cass Lane in 3. Kayla Kelly in 2. And Daisy Conde in lane number 1, rounding out this second middle heat of elite women. Natalie Anderson leads this heat in 11th place on 250 points. Aninda Manocha in 20th is 222, so it's only a 28-point spread from top to bottom within this heat. We have a few ties to break. Daisy Conde, Kayla Kelly, and Angela Krovanchik are all on 224. Cassandra Parra and Cass Lane are both on 232. And 1 point separates Paige Marion and Haley Perini. Keeping all of these women out of the final heat currently is Emily Burnett at 264 points, a 14-point buffer to Anderson. We'll see if anything changes and any of these women are able to push up into the top heat. Great advantage for them if they're able to do it, as they buy themselves one extra heat of rest. About 14 points. We'll see if they can make it up. A couple of these athletes had really good days yesterday. Both Cass Lane and Kayla Kelly were in the bottom heat to start Saturday. Kelly was 9th and 12th. Cass was 11th and 9th. And Cass is the leader heading out onto the floor. She's got the gray shorts and the orange top on. And you see she's also not bringing the bar into the hip, but the bar path is very straight. All the women onto the snatches. Daisy Conde, the last to get there at about the minute 55 mark. Cass moves forward into the second set of 15, continuing to lead the heat. Cassandra Parra in lane 8, opposite side of the floor. Points is her. Paige Marion, Natalie Anderson, Haley Perini, Emily Salome, Angela Krovanchik, Aninda Manocha, and Kayla Kelly all moved into that second section within about 5 seconds of each other. So it's Cass Lane, Cassandra Parra, and then essentially the rest of the heat in a very close deadlock here. Francesca Coletto in the previous heat had the fastest split time to get onto the bike. It was 5.5 minutes. We'll see how that stacks up against this heat. We expect them to be a little bit faster. They got more that they're fighting for, and they've proven to be fitter thus far through the competition as well. Angela Krovanchik, who's shown a lot of proficiency with the barbell through the first 4 events here, has caught up to Cassandra Parra and moved forward at the same time as her and got the transition going first. Natalie Anderson was actually the fastest in transition, so it's Cass Lane, Natalie Anderson, and margins very small still in this heat. Lane maybe a 5-rep advantage over the rest of the field currently. 5 reps to go for her in this middle section. And in lane 10, Aninda Manocha seems to have snuck up on us again somehow. She's in the lead. We saw this from her yesterday where it didn't look like she was in the mix with everyone else, and suddenly she was coming to the finish line. I don't know if that's... Is she a magician? Then Minocha actually took the lead there on the barbell and has a 1-rep advantage over Cass Lane, Angela Krovanchik, and Haley Perini. Cass Parra also moving forward. So those are the top 5 currently. Now Anderson to the boxes. Paige Marion not far behind. Last two athletes finishing out those first sets of snatches are in lanes 2 and 1, Kayla Kelly and Daisy Conde. Kelly just moves forward now. Aninda Minocha and Castellane advance their box to the second set of 15 at the same time. Sandra Parra box jumping a little bit faster than Angela Kovanchik. She'll move back into the 3 spot in the heat. And Haley Perini, actually about the same as her, middle of the floor in the all black leggings, black sports bra, a 17-year-old. First time really competing in an open women's division like this. And she's sitting in 12th overall to start the day. Her best workout was on Friday night. It was a 5th place. It was the one that required the least amount of top end strength or skill, which is very similar to this workout. So depending on how she's able to do on the box, this could be another set of movements which leaves her with a top 10 finish. And the lead changes continue as I thought Cassandra Power was in about 5th in the heat, but suddenly she's on the bike. Her box looks like it's one section behind, so we might have to look into that. But Kaspar is on the bike. May not have done the full set of box jump overs there. It's an interesting space to be as an athlete. When your judge tells you to go, you're compelled to do it. But usually, most competitions still say that the onus is on the athletes to do the work. So obviously the scoring team and judging team will do their normal protocols to finish that out. As it stands for us, and I kind of lost track of the split times amidst that, but Kaspar has a lot of company on the box. And all 9 of the 10 women are there already. So while these athletes are working through 40 calories out of this workout, back towards the big athletics up in upgrade 15. Use Metcon 2026 at checkout for 15% off your entire order and to get free shipping. Thank you to Herd Athletics for the support this weekend. Middle heat of women continue to work through the middle movement of this down and back chipper. 40 cals on the bike. The first heat, most of the athletes took around 4 minutes to do that. 10 calories per minute. You got to hold about 60 RPMs on the Echo bikes. Majority of this heat got there between the 5:30 and 6-minute mark. Similar to what Francesca Coletto did in the first heat, Coletto slowed down a little bit on the box and the barbell and was only able to get 16 of the 45 toes to bar done, so that's the score to beat. 8.5 minutes have passed here. So it should be within the last minute of work for most of the women. Kaspara gets off the bike as her judge's hand goes up, and now you know, we'll see. Cass's box is in a different space on the floor than the rest of the heat. Hands up. All of them are coasting in on this last calorie. Minocha looks like she's going to be the first to move. Followed by Natalie Anderson. Perini done with her calories. Angela Krovanchik onto the box overs. Looks like Anderson faster on the box jump overs than Anocha. So it's Para. She definitely did 3 sets on that on the way back down the floor. Unsure, but it looked to us like she may have only done 2 sets coming out. So keep an eye on that. In the meantime, she's on the barbell snatches. Amongst the rest of the field, it's still Natalie Anderson, Aninda Minocha, and Cass Lane. Perini may be moving faster on the box overs than everyone else in lane number 6. As expected, she gave away a little bit of time on the bike, but these kind of body weight and lightweight cyclical movements, very good for Haley. As a teenager, she's gotten the type of experience that's as good as you can get, 2 times competing at the CrossFit Games. It's the best in the world from her division. Unfortunately missed out this year due to some review issues. 2 reps to go for her, and she's not going to be too far behind Lane and Minocha for the third spot in the heat. So it's Kaspar, Natalie Anderson, and then three women battling for those 3, 4, 5 positions. And we keep our eyes on lane 10, Minocha. She was fastest, we think, on the barbell on the way out. That's where she made her move. So see if she can close down Natalie Anderson at all before getting back to the pull-up bar. That first set of toes to bar, not a huge indicator for us because everyone's fresh. But if you are good at the toes to bar, you should be able to have an advantage on the way back out. Para moves her barbell into the last section. 12.5 minutes gone in the 16-minute time cap. Emily Salome with a couple box jumps to go, same as Daisy Conde. They'll be the last athletes to get to the barbell, where Para continues to lead. Minocha, Anderson, and Cass Lane, and Haley Perini, we're all in the same section. Anderson still leading amongst that group as she moves into the final set of 15. The set, no hand up for Natalie Anderson yet, but she should be second fastest to move. Kathleen and Aninda Minocha, lanes 3 and 10 respectively. Also closing in on the end of this set of 45 snatches. Para to the pull-up bar. One more snatch for Natalie Anderson in lane 5 as Para jumps up. So Para in the all blue, Anderson in the orange shoes and top there. 1 and 2 in the heat currently. It looks like Anderson's going to have a faster transition and maybe also a bigger set to open. 16 reps from Coletto is the score to beat. It shouldn't be an issue for either one of them, but can they get to 45? Minocha in the outside lane will finish up the snatches before Cass Lane. Haley Perini also getting close to finishing up. So those are still the top 5, although Angela Krovanchik in lane 9 is moving the barbell quickly as we've become accustomed. Less than 90 seconds to go in the heat. Haley Perini final snatch, so she'll be 4th to the rig. 4 reps to go for Cass Lane, who was the early leader in this one. Kovanchik with a hand up in the same interval. So Kaslane and Angela Kovanchik kind of rep for rep here. Last minute of work. Anderson, Para, Minocha with a big set in lane number 10. Perini. Now Kaslane's got company from Kayla Kelly right next to her. Kayla Kelly faster to the pull-ups than Kaslane and Angela Kovanchik. Natalie Anderson, small sets and small breaks right now as she's chipping her way towards 45. 25 seconds to go. Not sure if we're going to get a finisher here. Para looks like she's laboring. Minocha with another decent set, but she's off the bar. Anderson back up. Only can get two at a time at this point. Kayla Kelly looking good with a couple sets, but it's not going to be enough to get to 45. The amount of time she had getting there. So not sure what the top score is going to be. Conquest events will have all the scoring. Nobody able to finish the toes to bar under the time cap in heat number 2. My best guess is that it was Natalie Anderson with the lead. Minocha and Para likely close on reps there. Be interesting to see what happens with Para in terms of that first set of box jump overs. But either way, 2 heats down, 1 week to go for the elite women here. Full circle, Metcon Rush carries on after this. Hagerstown, Maryland. And these women are going to be taking on Full Circle, the fifth workout out of six this weekend for them. It's a down and back chipper, 45 toes to bar, 45 power snatches with 55 pounds, 45 box jump overs to the 20-inch box, 40 calories on the Echo bike, and work their way back. Box jump overs, power snatches, toes to bar to finish it off. Nobody's been able to finish that last set of toes to bar. As the results currently stand, Cassandra Parr 38 reps in the previous heat, Natalie Anderson 32 are the two top scores that we know of. A little bit of uncertainty about Kaspar on the box jumps on the way out, so we'll see if that factors in. But either way, hopefully to get some finishers across the line. Let's take a look at the athletes in this heat. Lane number 10, Emily Burnett. Lane 9, Julia Aguiar. Lane 8, Chelsea Rainieri. Lane 7, Jenna Michelati. Lane 6, Elena Palmarizzi. Lane 5, overall leader currently, Paige Semenza. Caroline Spencer, last year's champion, is in lane 4. Jordan Kearney in lane 3. Tori Garcia in lane 2. And Pam Gutierrez rounds out this final heat in lane number 1. Semenza sits in first place with 355 points, 10 points ahead of a three-way deadlock at 345 points. So 4 women and 10 points is the total margin with 2 workouts to go on this last day of competition. Amongst those 3, Elena Palmarizzi holds the tiebreaker with a first and second place finish on events 2 and 3. She's in lane number 6. Caroline Spencer with a first and a pair of thirds in lane 4 would be third if things were to end right now based on the traditional tie breaks. And Jordan Kearney, who also has an event win but a pair of fourth place finishes are her next best in lane 3, would have missed out on the podium if things were to end right now. However, 2/3 of the competition remains, and in the fastest split time we've seen yet, Caroline Spencer pulls ahead of the field on those opening set of toes to bar, and looks like she's going to get almost 10 snatches done before anyone else gets the bar off the ground. The first athlete to do that was actually in lane 2, Tori Garcia. Tori Garcia had been hanging tough with the top of this division, pair of 7th and a 4th before taking a 16th last night. She's in 7th place overall currently on the leaderboard, but second in the heat. Jordan Kearney was third off the bar, and then there was a mass movement from pretty much the entire field, lanes 5 through 10, within a few seconds of each other. So it's Caroline Spencer, Tori Garcia, Jordan Kearney, the early leaders in this final heat. Caroline Spencer started the weekend with an 11th place finish on the snatch ladder. You see the way she's transitioning with the bar overhead there. One of the most experienced athletes in the field, probably only second to Paige Semenza in that regard. And the little tricks of the trade certainly will make their mark over the course of the weekend. Third, and first since then as she's continued to climb on up, seeing if she can back up the win from last year. One of the rising stars in the sport, Hannah Black, was at this competition last season, and her and Caroline ended up with a winner-take-all finale situation. Caroline was able to get the best and Julia Aguiar in lane 9 moving very well on this barbell as well. She may be in the second position now. Spencer 4 reps to go on the snatches. Aguiar definitely into that final sections. Should be the last reps for Caroline Spencer here. 3 minutes to go until the time cap. 45 reps for her. Spit on the grips and rub them together to get the chalk to apply to them the way that she wants to, and she's going to step up onto a riser and be on the toes to bar about 10 seconds after finishing that last snatch. It was the movement where she made the most separation relative to the field, and you see she's got a very snappy kick at the bottom and pull back up to the pull-up bar. So Spencer on her own here. Several athletes with hands up on the pull-up bar. It's hard to tell who's leading. It looks like Jordan Kearney, Tori Garcia, Julia Aguiar all within 1 rep of each other. Who's going to be quickest to strike? Paige Semenza to the pull-up bar. Kearney jumps up first. She'll have a rep advantage on Tori Garcia. Tori Garcia gets a rep done before Aguiar. Semenza yet to get up on the pull-up bar. Pamarizzi and Michelati move back there now. Final snatch for Emily Burnett. So it's 7 women who could still easily take second in this heat and in this workout. We're about 90 seconds away now. 38 and 32 reps on the toes to bar from Cassandra Parra. If that score holds, and Natalie Anderson looking better and better. This workout and the time cap are proving to be difficult for this entire division at this point. Caroline Spencer chipping away. 5 reps to go for her. 2025 Metcon Rush champion Caroline Spencer is going to win event 5 to start things here on Sunday. She won event 4 last night. Started in 11th, pair of thirds, now a pair of firsts. Worst case scenario, she'll be 5 points out of the lead with the tie-break differential over Semenza going into the finale. That is if Paige Semenza is able to finish second in this workout somehow. And with 40 seconds to go and the rest of the heat on the thing. Jordan Kearney right there. Garcia's back up. Michelati's up. Aguiar's in this conversation. Pamarizzi and Burnett are in the mix as well. No hands up for anyone else on the floor, so we're a little bit blind here. Now a hand goes up for Jordan Kearney. 3 reps remain in 10 seconds. Not sure she's going to be able to get them done. I still don't see any other hands. So Kearney looks like she took it. Garcia's judge's hand went up late and dropped down 1 finger, so it's unclear where Semenza shook out, or Michelati, or Aguiar, but we know Caroline Spencer got the event win. Jordan Kearney seems to have gotten second, which would be her second best finish of the weekend. She was also tied on points with Spencer and Pamarizzi to start this one. So it's possible that it's Spencer, Kearney, Semenza all within 5 points or 10 points of each other going into the final. Conquest events will have all the results. We'll do a little bit of a reseed. Elite women are done. Elite men are coming up next, taking on the same workout. So we'll stay live, play a couple ads for you, and then be back with the elite men on the same stream. Metcon Rush carries on after this.
In the sport of fitness, I'm always looking for an edge up on my competitors, and one of those ways is through proper hydration. It's important to be dialed in every aspect of your training. One of the most important aspects is hydration, and that's why I take engineered nutrition. It's a compound of electrolytes that you lose through sweat, and it replenishes them in the golden ratio exactly how you lose them. Be relentless, engineered nutrition.
And we're back with the elite men getting set to take on Full Circle. Almost identical workout to the women. It's a down and back chipper, 45 reps across the board in this case, so 5 extra calories on the Echo Bike compared to the elite ladies. The power snatches are at 75 pounds and the box jump overs are at 24. They start with toes to bar, go to the barbell where they move the weight forward every 15 reps. They'll go to the box jump overs where they'll also advance the box every 15 reps, hit the 45 who it looks like has moved all the way up into first place in the division on the back of back-to-back event wins. In this first heat of elite men, we've got lane 7, Luke Klecker, lane 6, Kyle Pignatiello, lane 5, Nathan Sherman, and lane 4, Xavier Vivans. Sherman in 19th place overall, 206 points, is the top-seeded athlete in this heat thus far. Has been dealing with a little bit of a lat issue that flared up during the chest to bars on Friday evening. Kyle Pignatiello and competition next week at Monster Game from now. But he loves to compete. These were both competitions he wanted to do, so he told me he's just trying to find a way to make it work. He's out there in lane number 6 doing that right now. Substantial, but Sherman leading, followed by Klecker, Vivance, and Pignatiello. About 2 minutes in as they work their way down the floor. They should be moving this barbell forward. Finn's going to do that first time right now. Leaders in the heat working their way through the box jump overs. It's Sherman and Klecker, followed by Vivance and Pignatiello. He's jumping off the box right away. I wonder if he'll go to a step down at some point. If you guys are just joining us, Metcon Rush 2026 is the first of 3 heats of elite men taking on workout number 5, full circle. The last part of this competition is 4 back-to-back servings of elite action. The women just went on this workout. The men, 3 heats as well. We'll do a quick reseed and reshuffle, set up the championship races for the finale. Klecker's taking the lead from Sherman on the box. I wouldn't be surprised to see Sherman take it back from him here and maybe a little back and forth the rest of the way in. Very similarly to the women, they were getting on about the 5:30 mark. They have 5 extra calories. Most of the women took about 4 minutes on the bike. None of them faster than 3:30 that I saw, so we'll see how the guys manage this. Top men in the first heat still working away on the box here. And this stream fueled by engineered nutrition. If you train hard, you know the feeling. Last round, legs cramping, tanks empty. A lot of times it's not fitness, that's hydration. Scan the QR code. Use the code METCON2026 for savings for the next 2 weeks with engineered nutrition. Be relentless. Still no hands up for the leaders on the bike here. Pignatello in the meantime with the last few box jump overs. If you guys are following along during the elite women's action, there was a review about Cassandra Parra's score. Did it appear when the review was settled that she did 30 reps rather than 45 on the way out? So they're just going to assess a 15 rep penalty there. So if you're looking for updated standings for the women heading into the finale, we'll let those disputes get settled before zooming in on what the race is going to look like. Since Caroline Spencer was the only athlete to finish 15 reps on those toes to bar, could impact quite a few scores. Unclear at this point how many and for whom. In the meantime, Klecker looks like he was able to maintain his position on the bike. Luke, unfortunately, was unable to make it on Friday, so he had 0 points starting yesterday. He did take 12th and 18th out of the 22 men we have competing yesterday. And leading the way in this opening heat, the 9-minute mark currently. He's working on that first set of 15 box jump overs on the way back down the floor. 1 calorie remaining for Sherman. And Sherman will head to the boxes. As he gets his first rep done, Klecker moves his box for the first time. So, about 12 rep separation between those guys. So it's Klecker and Sherman. 10 minutes in, 16 minutes on the time cap. And Sherman with the missed rep there. He'll compose himself and reset to get back into another set of box jump overs. He's in the middle round of 3, or middle set of 3. They have to advance the box every 15 reps. Klecker's on his final set of 15 before going back to the barbell. Xavier Vivans with a hand up on the bike. Sitting solidly at third in the heat. Klecker, 3 more box jump overs to go. Luke Klecker, 90 reps away from finishing this. 5 minutes to get it done. Be curious to see how impactful these last 90 reps are for the men. A lot of the women slowed down dramatically on the snatches and toes to bar. See if Klecker can get a time on the board for the next 2 heats, though. He's going to have company here in a minute. Nate Sherman, 30 seconds after him or so. And Sherman takes his time in the transition. Klecker finishes up 15 reps. So Luke Klecker into the second set of 15 reps on the barbell. Sherman working on the first set. Pignatello has left the bike, so he's in the box overs. Luke Klecker continuing to lead with 3 minutes to go here in the first of 3 heats of elite men taking on Full Circle, event 5 of 6. For the Test of Fitness Metcon Rush here in Hagerstown, Maryland. Getting pretty close to heading back to that final movement, the toes to bar. Hand goes up from his judge. 4 reps to go. Just under 2.5 minutes to the time cap. He had 5 minutes to get through these 90 reps. The barbell is going to eat up at least half of that. Vivans has finished up his box overs. He's working on those 45 snatches. Klecker drops the bar at the 13:50 mark, so 2 minutes and 10 seconds, all that remains if he wants to finish these 45 reps. He's going to have to push it, and a big break coming up. Toweling off a little bit, too. Steps onto his riser, and with less than 2 minutes to go, he jumps up onto the bar for the first time. Couple box overs remaining for Pignatello. And he'll head to the barbell. Set of 10 for Luke to kick things off as we approach the final 90 seconds. Sherman bent over looking at the barbell. He's got a few reps to go before getting back to his toes to bar. Klecker able to get a second set of 10 done. But with 1 minute to go, you're probably not going to be able to get 25 here. Sherman's up on the bar for the first time. He'll get a set of 6 in his opening go at it. Klecker up for a third time. 8 reps that time. There's 17 to go. Only 30 seconds remain for Klecker. Set of 7 this time. 35 reps done, 10 to go, 15 seconds. He's back up quickly. Yeah, looks like a 4 and 1, so he'll end up getting 40 out of the 45 reps. Luke Klecker will set the mark for the next 2 heats of men that remain. This is event number 5 of 6 at Metcon Rush 2026. 1 heat down, 2 to go for the elite men. 1 minute out from the start of the second of 3 heats of elite men taking on full circle here on the final day of competition at Metcon Rush 2026. We got 8 guys in this heat. Starting in lane 9 will be Andrew Raymond. Alex Bookout will be in lane 8. Chris Dunn, lane 7. Brandon True in lane 6. Alexander Kendall in 5. Looks like lane 4 is empty. Maybe a withdraw there. Lane 3, Austin Morgan, and lane 2, Chance Whitaker. So 7 of the 8 heats or lanes full in this heat. And they'll be taking on full circle. It's a down and back chipper. Starts with 45 toes to bar, then 45 power snatches at 75 pounds, 45 box jump overs to the 24-inch box. 45 calories on the Echo Bike is the middle part. And they'll work their way back down in the reverse order with 45 box jump overs, 45 snatches, and 45 toes to bar. 16 minutes is the time cap. Only one of the elite women was able to beat the time cap. Luke Klecker in the opening heat for elite men came within 5 reps of that. So 40 toes to bar on the way back will be the score to beat if you want to have the top performance with the top 10 men waiting in the wings for the final heat. Alexander Kendall is in the middle lane in the red t-shirt. He has 252 points. He sits 11th overall. He has a 4-point advantage over Brandon True, who's in the sort of gray camo shorts to his right. Kendall only 1 point behind the youngster Noah Martin, who snuck into the top 10 to start the day here, so 253 points for him. There is a reseed before that final heat, and if Kendall's able to push his way up, or Brandon True for that matter, not only do they get to be in the last heat, which is, of course, where all the athletes want to be, but you get 15 or 16 extra minutes of rest. Pretty traditional scoring allocations, reseed after each day, and then going into the finale, that's just to make sure that in that last heat, the things that matter for those top athletes, podiums, cashes, victories, you can be next to the athletes who are closest to you. Hand up in lane 6, 5, and 7, but it's lane number 3, Austin Morgan, who is definitely not Ray Romanek. So Morgan leading, tight race behind him. Alexander Bookout in lane 8, ripping a set of 15. He's in the all black with the cutoff t-shirt. And first to advance his barbell, despite being maybe 5th off the pull-up bar. You see very fluid motion. Not even close to a power snatch. That's a straight muscle snatch with a 75 barbell for Bookout. Bookout's had a couple good workouts. Workouts 2 and 4, 9th and 10th. He's gotten off to a slower start in the morning with 19th place finishes on both workouts 1 and 3. Don't know if it's the workouts or maybe just the time of day that he's used to throwing down his best performances, but he's off to a good start here early and a workout that's going to take probably the full 16 minutes. Caroline Spencer went out fast in the last heat and was able to hang on, but in a few of the other heats that we've seen so far, the early leaders did eventually tire and the heat was able to reel them in. Bookout, Kendall, Morgan, Chris Dunn, and then Brandon True, seemingly the top 5 at this point. Hand up from Bookout's judge and extremely fast on those snatches. He'll head to the box overs first. So Bookout with some separation here in heat 2 for the elite men. It looks like Alexander Kendall, middle of the floor in the red, will be the second athlete to move. 7 or 8 box jumps behind Bookout. Kendall started with his strongest performance of the weekend on the snatch ladder where he took a 7th. Kendall will advance his box forward to the second section of 15 as Chris Dunn pulls into the third position in the heat as he starts on the box jump over. So it's Bookout, Kendall, Dunn, and then in lane 9, Andrew Raymond, fourth in the heat currently. Austin Morgan moves forward to the box overs, as well as Brandon True. And Chance Whitaker also finishes up on the box, or moves to the box, excuse me. Hand up for Bookout on this final set of box jump overs as we hit the 5-minute mark. This is going to be a faster split time than most getting to the bike. Bookout really making the difference on the snatches. 5:12 as he starts in on his 45 calories. Kendall still in the second spot. Unclear who's third, but Kendall made up a little bit of ground there, 5:26, so about a 14-second difference between Bookout and Kendall getting onto the bike. Alexander Kendall, big, strong, powerful athlete, as we know from his snatch, but also just looking at him. See if he can close any calories down on Bookout. 14 seconds for these guys, a couple calories, 3, 4 maybe. Bookout and Kendall working on the bike. The rest of the heat getting close to joining them. Stream supported by Herd Athletics. If you're ready to upgrade your training, scan the QR code. You can save 15% off your entire order, plus get free shipping when you use Metcon 2026 at checkout. For limited stock on the latest gear with Herd Athletics, scan the code, enter Metcon 2026 at checkout for savings. Most of the heat's on the bike now. Actually, all of the guys are on the bike. Kendall and Bookout going to be fairly close. Chris Dunn has to drop off the bike to adjust the seat a little bit. That'll cost some precious seconds, but it may save some fatigue in the quad, so it might be worth it for him. At least he deemed it to be the case. 7 minutes gone. 16 minutes on the time cap. 40 toes to bar in the final movement of this down and back chipper from Luke Klecker is the score to beat. Looking for hands up still, and there it is, Alexander Bookout. Tick close to 8 minutes. So expect to see the men on the bike with faster splits, and that's the case for Bookout. That's about a 2:40 split. Kendall with 1 rep remaining. We'll have a similar split, about 3:30. So Kendall and Bookout setting the pace here. They're going to be in a little bit of a battle. The rest of the heat's pretty tight. We got 2 different races going on. Bookout with a narrow lead over Kendall here on the box overs as they work their way back down the floor. Hand up for Brandon True. He's used the box overs and the bike to build a little bit of separation from the 4 other guys that are still on the bike in this heat, but he's about 20 box overs behind the leaders, almost 30 reps behind Bookout, in fact. So it's Bookout and Kendall, rep for rep on the snatches. True all on his own on the boxes. Now he's got company from Austin Morgan. Hands up for the rest of the men in this heat on that bike. Whitaker, Dunn, and Raymond. We're approaching 10:15 on the clock. 16-minute time cap here. Klecker had gotten to the pull-up bar at the 11-minute mark. To the barbell at the 11-minute mark. So Bookout and Kendall way ahead of that. That's a little bit closer to where the pace that Brandon True is on. So we would expect Bookout and Kendall to be able to get this done under the time cap. Hallman off the bike. Brandon True with the last few reps on the box overs. Bookout getting set to finish up another set of snatches. He'll have 15 remaining. Kendall moves the bar back as well, so he'll be 5. Bookout does a set of 5 before Kendall starts. While Bookout takes a break, Kendall gets the bar moving, so the reps are getting very tight, but Kendall takes a small set of 3 and then picks it up and does 2, so they're actually tied on reps exactly at this point, at least by my count from here. Looks like Kendall's going for 5 sets of 3, where Bookout's going for 3 sets of 5, potentially. Should be close to the final 5 reps for both. Hand up from the judge in Bookout's lane. Kendall's judge's hand goes up as well, so still about a 3-rep advantage for Bookout as he has a very fast transition to get back on the pull-up bar. Kendall, 1 more snatch to go. Brandon True finishes up his first set of 15. Chris Dunn finishes on the boxes and moves to the barbell. So it's Bookout, Kendall, True, then Dunn. Morgan and Whitaker also move to the barbell. Andrew Raymond with a few more box overs to go. Three minutes to the time cap. Bookout and Kendall definitely within striking distance to get this one done. Had some different strategies on the barbell in terms of reps and sets, or reps per set. And same seems to be true on the pull-up bar. Right now, Bookout taking the smaller breaks while Kendall doing the bigger sets. Brandon True still in that 3 spot. It's very close between Whitaker, Morgan, and Dunn after that. They're all in the same set of snatches. Raymond now into the barbell work also. He's on his first set of 15. But Bookout and Kendall battling for the heat lead. Until we see a hand up, we won't necessarily know. Small set from Kendall there. Bookout also with a small set, chipping away. 2 minutes till the time cap. There's a hand for Bookout. He's been narrowly ahead this entire way, 4 reps away from taking the heat. He's going to have to come off with 1 rep to go. No hand up for Kendall yet, however. Bookout gets it done. He'll run down the floor. So Alexander Bookout, our first finisher on the men's side, 14:29 unofficially, will be the score that the top heat of men will be trying to track down. Still no hand up for Kendall. Feels like he should be close. Brandon True, 3 reps to go on the barbell, and he'll move back to the pull-up bar. Luke Klecker is going to have the 3rd best score through 2 heats out of that opening heat, as Brandon True will not be able to get 40 reps done in this minute. So Bookout actually increasing his gap by quite some distance over Kendall, who's down to singles here, and still no hand up from the judge. Now it goes up, so last 5 reps are going to be singles for Kendall. Again, he was 1 point away from that top heat, so he'll be watching closely, Noah Martin especially, in that last heat to see if he can sneak some points on him and get into the top heat for the finale later. Last rep here for Kendall, and he'll run to his pylon and tap it at the 15:32 mark. Just over a minute behind Alexander Bookout, who picked up most of that time on that last set of toes to bar. 4 men are on those toes to bar. Brandon True should be leading amongst them here, but none of them will likely catch Luke Klecker's count of 40. Dunn, Whittaker, Morgan, True trying to bank as many reps as possible in these last few seconds. You never know how those are going to shake out. It's been a very challenging workout up to this point. Caroline Spencer, the lone finisher on the women's side, and through 2 heats, Alexander Bookout, the only male to get it done. 2 heats done, 1 to go for the elite men. Full circle wraps up with the final heat after this. Hagerstown Community College was the first community college in the state of Maryland 80 years ago. This is the final heat of Elite Men taking on Full Circle, event number 5 here at Metcon Rush 2026. Top 10 men after 2 days of competition as we hone in on crowning champions on Sunday here in Maryland. Full Circle is the task before these guys. 45 toes to bar, 45 power snatches, 45 box jump overs, 45 calories on the Echo bike, and work your way back with 45 box jump overs, power snatches, and toes to bar. 16 minutes is the time cap. Only Alexander Bookout Alexander Bookout has the top time, 14:29. Alexander Kendall, the only other man to finish under the time cap at 15:32. Expecting a majority, if not all, of this heat to be able to get the work done. The matter at hand is in what order. Let's introduce you to the top 10 after yesterday. In lane 10, Noah Martin. Lane 9, Javier Sabia. Lane 8, Jordan Bailey. Lane 7, Saran Suvanasai. Lane 6, Caden Hogan. Lane 5, Luis Oscar Mora. Lane 4, Josh Beaker. Lane 3, Nikki Rogers. Lane 2, Frankie Mastroani. And lane 1, Austin Rowe. Middle of the floor, lane number 5, Luis Oscar Mora is the leader in the competition. 3 event wins and a second place finish on workout 2 on Friday night. Put him on 395 points. It's a 30-point buffer ahead of 2 men who are tied on points at 365. Caden Hogan in lane number 6 holds a tiebreaker thanks to the event win on workout 2. The only time that anyone was able to beat Luis Oscar Mora so far this weekend. He's been first, third, and fourth. But Josh Beaker with second, third, and fourth is giving him a run for his money. Those guys battling for second and third currently. In the 4th spot is Saran Suvanasai, a veteran athlete in lane number 7. He's on 323 points, so 32 points out of the podium. We're going to need something special from him if he wants to track down either Beaker or Hogan. Sitting 5th is Nikki Rogers on 316 points, and we know Nikki's got a great chance to do something special in the finale. We'll see how he manages this one and where he's sitting relative to the field going into that workout. Jordan Bailey sits in 6th place. All finishes 5th through 9th for him so far, and I was talking to him this morning, and he kind of knows that the consistency's there, but he needs to have those top performances if he wants to push into podium contention against a field like this. Thinks this is his best chance of the 2 workouts to do it today. He's about 7th or 8th in the heat getting to the barbell. Caden Hogan, who we've seen be aggressive early in these workouts, was the first man to touch the bar for this opening set of 45 power snatches, but it's pretty tight across the competition floor. Austin Rowe, the last man done with the toes to bar, but all men within 15 reps of each other early here. Caden Hogan will advance first with the barbell overhead and transition immediately into the second set of 15. They do have to advance the bar and the box every 15 reps on the way out, and then move it backwards in the same fashion in the second half of this one. There's Caden Hogan and then several other men stepping forward at a similar time. Luis Oscar Mora in lane number 5 has been showing his class in terms of experience, pacing, and movement efficiency throughout the competition. And even the other athletes who haven't maybe competed against him have taken notice. I was talking with a couple of them this morning, and they said that guy's just a good mover, and he really trusts his pacing. And sure enough, he moves forward into the final set of 15 at the same time as Hogan. A lot of men trading positions here on the leaderboard amidst these snatches. When they move to the boxes, we'll have a better idea of who is where. Hands go up at the same time for Mora and Hogan. Bars on the ground for both of them, though. Caden Hogan keeps his hands nearer to the barbell and gets it back up quicker. I think they're literally doing synchro snatches, but Noah Martin in lane 10 is going to be first to the box. So it's Martin, Mora, and Hogan, followed by Nikki Rogers. Here comes Suvanasai, Bailey, and Aren Sabia at the exact same time in 3 lanes next to each other. Mastroani with 1 rep to go, 2 reps to go for Beaker, and Austin Rowe, a handful remaining as the last man working on the snatches. Noah Martin had a 5th place and a 17th yesterday to go with a 14th and 13th on day number 1. Former Pitt teen athlete, got his first taste of elite action earlier this year at Pitt to the Coast, where he finished 12th. He's currently sitting 10th here, so looking to improve on that a little bit. Similar caliber and depth of field, and he's an early leader in this one. Keep an eye on Josh Beeker. He's been pretty clever in his approach to these workouts. Pair of second place finishes yesterday, but he's not the athlete that you'd expect to come out too fast. He likes to kind of build into them and close in the last half of the workouts. Something we saw Justin Medeiros really set the tone for about 5 years ago when he was winning back-to-back CrossFit games and hardly ever letting anyone pass him. He would do the passing as he worked his way up through the men in his heats throughout those back-to-back championship runs. Most of the men are in the final set of box jump overs. Hands up for 4 of them, maybe 5 of them. Noah Martin's going to maintain the lead, so 5:19 he heads to the bike. Hogan, Mora, and Bailey all within 1 second of that. Those will be the top 4. Nikki Rogers, 5th to the bike. Aaron Sabia now, followed by Beeker. And Saran Suvanasai has fallen off the pace on the box overs relative to the men to the left and right of him. He will move there now at about 5:45. Frank Mastroani had moved ahead of him as well. See someone else unexpected to see Suvanasai give away ground on the box overs. One of the taller athletes in the field. Figured he could at least keep pace there. Stream has been supported by Herd Athletics all weekend long. The latest gear from Herd Athletics. If you want to upgrade your training, scan the QR code. Use code METCON2026 at checkout for 15% off your order and free shipping. Herd Athletics, big-time supporter of athletes in this space. Thank you for being a part of the stream this weekend. Encourage you to check them out and get some savings while you're at it. METCON2026 at checkout. All athletes in this heat on the bike. The leaders, of which there were about 4, got there around the 5:20 mark, just a little bit off the pace from Bookout in the previous heat. Bookout left the bike at about 7:50. We're about 45 seconds away from that. Jordan Bailey scanning the field. This is the second to last workout for Metcon Rush this year. As soon as this heat ends, we'll wrap it up and shut this stream down. The next action on the floor will be the Elite Women taking on the finale. So we'll have a separate stream for that last workout. It'll start shortly after this one ends. In the meantime, Caden Hogan is the first athlete with a judge's hand up. Then Jordan Bailey, Noah Martin, then Bailey, then Mora, and Aaron Sabia actually looks to have pushed the pace on the bike. So 8:10 on the clock. We have Hogan and Martin 1 and 2 in the heat. And Javier Aaron Sabia makes a big move there. He'll get off about a half a second before Jordan Bailey and Luis Oscar Mora. So 5 men done with the bike before the 8:30 mark. All of them behind the pace of Bookout and Kendall from the previous heat, however. Bookout's best finish so far has been 9th. Kendall's was 7th. So both of those guys looking to maybe have their best performance to start things off here on Sunday morning. Just like on the way out, the athletes will move their boxes every 15 reps on the way back down the floor. These top 5 have all done that. Beaker and Rogers and Mastroani chipping away, as well as Suvanasai, who just got off the bike. So Hogan moves into the last 15. Jordan Bailey is going to be the next to move his bike up to second in the heat. Luis Oscar Mora, 1 rep behind him, moves it forward, and Noah Martin, who's drifting a little behind the leaders, moves it forward at the same time as Javier Sabia. So same top 5, order shuffling a little bit. Hogan continuing to lead. Bailey, Mora, Sabia, and Martin. Looks like Mastroani has passed Rogers, so he's now trying to track down Beaker. Beaker's getting closer and closer to that front pack, as we expected that he might. Rogers and Suvanasai, 8 and 9 in the heat. Austin Rowe still on the bike. And Jordan Bailey passes Hogan. He'll be the first man to get his hands on the barbell. This is exactly what we want to see from him. The trademark orange 23 shorts with the blonde mohawk for Jordan Bailey. Came into the day sitting in 6th. Looking to climb his way up. An event win would go a long way towards helping with that case. He's got a lot of company. 2 more reps in that first set for Jordan Bailey. But Caden Hogan has passed him by, so Hogan and Bailey exchange the lead once again. Mora moves at the same time, so it's Hogan, then Bailey, then Mora. Top 3 in the heat right now. Hogan first to get his bar moving in this middle set of snatches, then Bailey, and now Mora. Mora with the straight muscle snatches, hip hinge, almost no knee bend, as opposed to Caden Hogan, who's doing a power snatch and dropping under each rep before standing it up. Bailey with the muscle snatch technique, and Javier Sabia, who's up to 4th now. Martin still holding the 5 spot. Beaker into 6th. Then Mastroani, Rogers, and Suvanasai. Austin Rowe still on the box overs. Now this one's going to get tight here. Hogan, Bailey, and Mora rep for rep in the last 15. Eren Sabia is sneaking up in the mix. Beaker now passes Martin into 5th in the heat. All the men hunched over here. We're at the 12-minute, 15-second mark. Bailey, hands on the barbell. Now Mora. And Eren Sabia may be the new leader. And Javier Eren Sabia drops the bar first, but Hogan and Bailey at the same time, and it's Hogan faster in the transition. Suddenly Beaker is within a rep of Luis Oscar Mora. So it's Hogan first on to the pull-up bar. Oscar Mora, as we often see, saved a little bit for that in transition. He moves into 2nd. So it's Hogan, Mora, Bailey, then Beaker. Eren Sabia had finished the first on the barbell, but was 5th to hit the pull-up bar in the heat. Alexander Bookout, 14:29. That could end up being a very relevant time. Noah Martin to the pull-up bar. He's in the 6th in the heat now. Frank Mastroani very close with him on the other side of the floor. They probably can't see each other at all. Nicky Rogers and Saren Suvanasai drifting behind. Suvanasai finishes the snatches, and he'll move to the pull-up bar, but you see almost the entire heat already back there. Hogan, Mora, Bailey, Eren Sabia, Beaker, all in the mix here. It's very unclear of what order they're going to finish these. Hogan back up on the bar. The rest of the men currently resting. Mastroeni and Martin chipping away. Suvanasai up, Bailey up, Hogan and Mora rep for rep. Beaker back on. 14 minutes pass, less than 30 seconds to Alexander Bookout's time. No hands up yet. Is it possible Alexander Bookout's going to win this thing from the heat before? Gosh, that would be massive for him. What if he could move from 15th into the top 10 with that performance? Still no hands up. Less than 10 seconds to Bookout's time. Well, Alexander Bookout, not sure if you're listening or watching, but you may get the event win here, and it looks like that is the case. So pending anything unusual, Alexander Bookout's going to win this workout. He becomes the second man on the weekend to beat Luis Oscar Mora at anything. Hand up for Beaker. We told you that he might do this. He's been sneaky all weekend, outpacing the field. And it looks like Josh Beaker, a pair of seconds yesterday, was never leading till the toes to bar. He'll take first in the heat, second in the workout. 1 to go for Caden Hogan, who will watch Beaker pass him again and take a 5-point advantage over him, breaking the tie into the finals. The last man that Hogan wanted to see pass him was Josh Beaker. Josh Beaker, third place here last year. He barely competes. He's a dad. He's managing so many things in his life. Never finds excuses. Mora in. Martin does not touch his chest piece, which is the mandated requirement. Then he touches it late, so Bailey got to the line after him. Martin hands on his head, knowing he didn't touch it. That will be very interesting on the scoring perspective because the judges may not have been able to see that, but those points could be critical. We definitely caught it on camera. Bailey reached for it. Noah knew he did not. Should have been Mora, Martin, and Bailey, but because of the touch, it'll probably be Mora, then Bailey, then Martin. Mastroeni gets across ahead of Aaron Sabia. Precious points for Frankie Mastroeni. Aaron Sabia continuing to have a great competition in his return to competition. In the midst of all of that, Alexander Kendall may be coming away with something similar to the 7th place finish he started the weekend with. Suvanasai, Rogers, and Rowe left on the floor. So crazy finish here. Josh Beaker, we gave a shout out to it earlier in that heat. He's been doing this all weekend. He was never leading until the last 5 reps. Takes the heat. Bookout gets the win for the workout. We'll see how that shakes out. We will reseed for the final. Hogan gets in, should be 3rd overall. Mora out touches Bailey, who had lost to Martin, but Martin forgot to touch his chest piece and knew it. Lots to settle on the leaderboard. Epic finale coming up for the men. 5 workouts down, 1 to go. We'll kill this stream. We'll start a new one very shortly. Elite women and then elite men to close things up.
In the sport of fitness, I'm always looking for an edge up on my competitors, and one of those ways is through proper hydration. It's important to be dialed in every aspect of your training. One of the most important aspects is hydration, and that's why I take engineered nutrition. It's a compound of electrolytes that you lose through sweat, and it replenishes them in the golden ratio exactly how you lose them. Be relentless. Engineered nutrition.